Hey everybody out there at all4sci-fi.com. Today we have an exclusive interview here with Mr. Mike Quinn.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Fellow Star Wars alumni here. We're here at Order 66 Toys.
Yeah.
And there's 6 of us actors here. Wow, that's pretty amazing.
Yes. It's good, isn't it? 6 jolly good friends and old school performers, right?
That's true, from back in the day.
Original.
And, of course, Mr. Mike Quinn is the man of the hour, because you're in The Rise of Skywalker, which just came out.
Right.
Nien Numb makes an appearance again.
He's there, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about the experience working on Rise of Skywalker and what the difference was doing Nien Numb now versus doing it way back old school.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of things feel the same, because everything's still real and the sets are real and the creatures are real. We're still using foam latex, but the tech is more advanced now. I mean, just to step outside of my own character for a minute, the biggest thing I've noticed that's different, to me at least, in filmmaking now compared to 37 years ago is I'd say the lighting. Lighting is much more subtle now and cooler and softer and I guess I don't know if the film has more latitude or what it is, but it seems like we don't have all those hot lights anymore that we used to have. That used to explode on our heads, with the lenses.
Big, huge lights, tungsten lights.
Yeah. So that's like a big difference right there, which is great for us. But for my character, Nien Numb, in the early 80s, 82 was when we filmed Return of the Jedi. The technology was still evolving for creatures and animatronics. It was still a new thing.
Right.
We'd just done the Dark Crystal, but for the most part, all the character faces there was still the hand inside every character, but the faces were cable controlled, like blinks and sneers and eye turns, like bicycle brake cables, and they were starting to transition to radio control near the end of the film.
Right.
But it was just a few, like the Gelflings, a few bits here and there. And then we did the Return of the Jedi the following year, and it was pretty much the same thing. Yoda was foam latex. Nien Numb was a urethane mask originally, so he was quite solid. There's sort of a latex surface on him. And he was just originally a background alien. And he was a pull-on mask that was sort of self-supporting for extras to wear. And that was him.
Even back then, it was a mask you pulled over your head?
It was in the beginning, where he was just a background alien. He hadn't been chosen for the Falcon or anything. He didn't even have a name. And he was on the creature list that Phil Tippett had.
Right.
And on there, it was number 9. He was just, and that was it.
Wow.
So another guy wore him in the long shots at that point. I was working with Tim on all the other characters, Tim Rose, and doing our other puppet stuff. So I wasn't really that aware of him in the first few months of filming. And then George Lucas pulled him out to be Lando's co-pilot. He knew he needed a sort of a Chewie replacement to fly with him, and he liked the look of that character.
Yeah,
so
so
he pulled him forward and said, I want that guy. And I was up in Phil Tippett's workshop playing with puppets, as I used to do, because I didn't want to go home.
Right.
And Phil Tippett was telling me, oh yeah, this guy's just been given a scene in the Falcon, and we're shooting it in a couple of weeks, and he's got dialogue, but he has no articulation. He's just a mask. So he said, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to cover his mouth with something because it doesn't move. Maybe put some air bladders in the cheeks so they wobble a bit. Or I said, I don't know. So I was looking at it, and I could see that if I put my hand inside the mask, I could actually make his... And I said, look, I can make him talk like that. And he thought, oh, that's a really good idea. He said, do you want to fit it out as a little hand puppet and we'll show it to George? We'll just sort of do a dummy run and see what he thinks. Which is what we did. So a week later... we did a film test because I had 2 masks. So they had the other guy wearing just the mask, and me next to him working the other one as a hand puppet. And George directed us to look around and act and react to things. And George said, "Oh, that's great. Okay." And then I said, "Well, you can put eye blinks on his eyes to make him blink on cable control, and maybe wiggle his ears, you know." And he thought that was great. So that was it. So they flew the mask back to ILM in California, and I think it was about 2 weeks later it came back for shooting, and I'd somehow got myself the job. So
that's an awesome story.
So,
and that's it, because you were working and you're an artist.
And yeah, I knew
puppetry.
Yeah, I knew how to do that,
right.
and yeah, so I didn't really audition for the character at all, and ended up working Nien Numb. So he was a hand puppet in the original Return of the Jedi, in the Falcon, and then fast forward 30 odd years to the Force Awakens, and they wanted to bring back Tim Rose and I as legacy characters for Akbar and Nien Numb, which was fantastic.
Great.
But now, you know, he's a mask that I wear with an animatronic face. So I look through his eyes and I can run around and walk around. So that's the big difference.
Are you still operating how it moves in the mask, or are there?
I was wondering about that, but I'm actually glad I don't. I was thinking, I could work the mouth with my hand, or with some buttons, or I could, you know. But I have one puppeteer that's outside the costume that can watch a monitor,
right,
and see what the cameras are seeing, and look at the face. So what I'll do is I'll rehearse with the face off, you know, so I can see where all my eye lines are. I can hear all the dialogue. I can get all my marks, but then I'll work out what I want to do facially, acting-wise. I'll work out all the beats very specifically. You know, here he's really paying attention, or he's you know, having an internal moment or whatever. But I'll sort of talk all that through with my puppeteer guy, and then we have talk back as well on earpiece, so we can hear. I can hear him, and he can. We can talk to each other sometimes during a take as well, which is quite good.
That's kind of cool.
And so then we'll put the head on and do the takes, and we'll communicate in between each take as well. I have hand signals if I need them to come over and, you know, talk a little bit more about stuff or ask a question.
Right.
So that's kind of how it works now. So it's very, very different.
Very different.
But on the other hand, you know, to me, there's still the same internal thought processes. Where with a hand puppet, he wasn't really creaturey. You know, Star Wars creatures often have a certain sort of, you know, way of moving and all this kind of
like
thing.
Yoda, yeah.
Yeah, or you know, the other biped creatures. But for him, I always thought he was just this kind of like very clean-looking cartoon. You know, very clean beats and that kind of thing. So I tried to do the same thing in the new costume as well. With the new Nien Numb, I tried to keep it very clean and very specific.
Right.
Very like pose to pose, very animation-y. It's almost the opposite of what all the creatures normally do. So I kind of, it's weird.
It's your own thing.
So he's a bit of an anomaly, I guess.
Well, he's your creation. He is.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
But he doesn't fit in with all what Star Wars creatures are. You know, it's so weird. So.
But everybody loves him. That's why he keeps coming back.
I suppose, yeah, they want to see him.
They want to see him.
I was always hoping we could get the chuckle in, you know, that thing that he did, because fans love that.
I remember that. Oh, yeah, and you didn't get that. Oh. When you have the mask on, how hard is it to see?
Yeah, it starts out okay for the first 30 seconds or so, but because they have to seal it all up, the neck gets all fixed down and everything, and there's no holes in the ears or the nose. There's just one little hole in the back of the throat, and when that mouth closes, there's nowhere for air to come in or out. So the heat just builds up really fast, and the moisture gets inside the eyes, and no matter what we put inside those eyes, nothing would keep the moisture from. I tried everything. And after a couple of minutes, I can't really see too well. I can see vague shapes and colors, but I couldn't, you know, there's no depth, there's no definition.
That's why you got to rehearse each step.
So yeah, you kind of have to time out your steps, sometimes, you know, as though you were doing it blind, just in case, or half blind, and work out where someone is or where a set piece is, so you can kind of hang on to that, or, you know, kind of. But in between takes, they'll come in and blow cold air in the mouth and cool me down and dry out the eyes. But if you're doing a string of takes together, you know, you don't have a chance.
But you could see for at least maybe a minute or a couple minutes.
If I'm lucky, at best, yeah.
Okay, I know with the Ewoks, when we did the Ewok movie, they can't see past 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it fogs up.
Yeah,
but the eyes are smaller though.
Yeah.
Remember, they had the smaller eyes.
That's true, yeah. So
it was really terrible. I mean, they were falling over the...
I fell over in this guy. I fell over onto BB-8 during The Force Awakens and broke his antenna. Yeah, I think he wheeled into a different spot and I couldn't see, and I went down in sort of slow motion. So it was outside the Falcon when everyone was rushing in. What else? Also, I can't really hear very well because I have all the little micro servos go buzzing away the whole time. As soon as they plug the power into them, it's sort of like having your head in a bee's nest going zzz the whole time.
Yeah.
So I can't really hear and I can't really see and I can't really breathe. So it's easy.
Yeah. It's not easy, but we make it look easy because that's our job.
So yeah. But it's always fun. It's always fun. You know, it's never not been fun.
That's the most important thing.
So,
how many weeks did you work on Rise of Skywalker?
I was on the very first week working eyes and eyebrows on radio control on another character who's seen at the very beginning of the film.
Okay.
And then we rehearsed that for a while and then filmed on it. We did a few scenes with him. One I think was cut from the final film, but maybe in the extras perhaps at some point.
And this is going to play. This isn't going to come out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to talk about it.
So I can say stuff. But
what other characters did you play?
Okay, so Bulio. So I helped with Bulio, and I did a little bit of eye work, radio control eye work on Aftab, which was Akbar's son.
Okay.
I shared that with some other people when I was in Nien Numb. Someone else did that as well. And then I was one of the children in the puppet show out in Jordan. We did that.
They were cute.
We did the whole scene, the whole show basically, the whole puppet show with them. There was a storyteller, and you know, and the kids had a response, and So
were you the one that came up and gave Ray the thing too?
No, that was Kieran. That was Kieran Shah inside that.
Wow.
Yeah. But we were the kids sitting on the mat,
laughing. And,
so I imagine they might perhaps show the whole show as a separate piece.
That would be great.
Because we did film the whole thing. I thought they were all going to get like totally burned to pieces by the First Order or something. I was waiting for them all to get burned, but I guess
Kylo Ren was going to come in, with his sword.
With his flamethrower, but no, anyway. So I did that too, but I'd keep coming back for different scenes and things, and we did a lot of stuff with Carrie, with Leia, I should say. That was a lot of it was cut though. A lot of stuff we did with other creatures too. I helped with some other creatures that we didn't really see yet, so they'll probably be on I'm sure in books and on the extras as well. So in between those, I'd do some more Nien Numb scenes and quite a fair bit actually, And then right through to February is when the last stuff was. The principal shooting was done. Then we came back in July and did some pickups.
The reshoots.
So it was like a year start to finish of filming.
And that's just the thing on the internet. Everybody starts screaming every time they're doing pickups and reshoots.
Yeah.
And I remember even back in 1984, we had to do reshoots.
It's normal, actually. It's normal. I mean, I think they build it into every single film, and they give themselves a chance to cut the thing together for a few months, and then work out, okay, we need this, this, and this, and it's just part of the schedule.
Part of the process.
We'll allow 2 to 3 weeks of pickups or whatever. And that's what's happened on every single film. It's just normal, it just makes the film better. So people don't understand that. There must be something wrong, it's gone horribly wrong.
It's horrible.
They're having to redo it all. It's like, no, it's just actually part of the creative process. They're just going to make it even better than it already would be, And it's little shots or the odd line changes and stuff like that. It's not like major whole scenes. Rarely is it a whole scene being redone from scratch. It's usually just parts here and there,
They're not reshooting half the movie.
No, it's the odd line of dialogue and that kind of thing,
So you've heard it from Mike Quinn, you heard it from Mace Tawani. Stop it, internet, right?
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop the madness. We're not reshooting the whole movie.
It's all good. It's great, And it's a very organic, fluid, creative way to make a film, actually.
It is.
Why wouldn't you do that, Why would you lock yourself into something at the beginning and not be able to plus it,
It's a whole process.
It's like improving a recipe, I've made a cake, but now if I just made this tweak, it'll taste even better. It's like that.
Yeah. Sometimes the next time you make it, it's better.
Yeah.
As well, because you're adding stuff to it.
Absolutely.
Okay, tell me what's on your plate coming up in the future?
Oh my goodness! Well, let's see. We have the season 2 of Kidding with Jim Carrey that will start out in either January or February of 2020. I can't even speak now. January or February. So that was a lot of fun working with him.
Oh,
so
Jim Carrey's great.
Yeah, so that's coming out soon. And I still have my Puppetry Academy, Secrets of Puppetry, where I'm teaching techniques for hand puppetry, things that I would have liked to have known and learned when I was starting out because it didn't exist then. So it's the stuff that I learned directly from Jim Henson, Frank Oz, that they taught us. And I put them into lessons online, so people can go to secretsofpuppetry.com/bronze and get into the entry level there if they're interested.
So you've heard it. If you're interested in learning the secrets of puppetry,
how to do it, either for fun or
this is a guy who's
hobby,
lived it for 40 years.
Semi-professional or professional, it doesn't matter, but just have fun with it. So yeah, it's out there. And what else? I'm writing a book. We're in the middle of writing a autobiography that people wanted to hear about. So now I can talk about all the new Star Wars stuff as well. And I've just recently uncovered a bunch of new pictures I can put in there. So that's called Talk to the Hand. So I'm working on that at the moment.
So then
as well.
embargo is up. Okay. Great.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, exactly. And what else? And I need to rest somewhere in there as well.
Oh, Mike, really?
I need to put my feet up and watch some nice old movies for a while. But
get caught up with stuff.
Mandalorian, stuff like that. It's like, when am I going to see that? So yeah, no, it's good. It's been a busy year though. It's been crazy, and we did a bunch of Muppet stuff recently.
Year, yes, and recently too,
for Disney Plus, and a bunch of commercials for Portal, Facebook as well. We just did those a few months ago, so they were fun. And there'll be more, now who knows what 2020 will bring, but it's scary and exciting. We're going to have more Star Wars, more Muppets, and...
Well,
oh my goodness.
I only wish it's great, and I wish you some rest.
Some rest.
Somewhere in between.
May I have some rest?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, take care. Cheers.